Únete a CDO y disfruta de nuestro deporte. Míralo en vivo y en donde estés. Desde cualquier dispositivo. Ahorra 25% contratando el plan anual. Únete a CDO, el canal de los deportes en Chile. CDO, únete ahora.
Bienvenidos a una nueva edición de CDO 360.
Ahí está el gol de Diyu, mira el centro, a la cabeza del turco.
Bueno, han aprendido los errores, justamente. Así que no, yo insisto, para mí quedaron con nota más que positiva.
Juan Carlos Páez tiene miedo.
Se metieron en mi computador.
Porque él mandó una serie de fotografías.
CDO Básquetbol es presentado por CDO Plus.
¿Qué tal, amigos de CDO Básquetbol? Continuamos con nuestras entrevistas especiales. Los deportistas, basquetbolistas, mejor dicho, destacados de nuestro país. Aprovechamos esta ventana en Valdivia, donde Chile se enfrenta a importantes selecciones pensando en su camino al Mundial, para conversar con un chileno que no está muchas veces en Chile. Sabemos que está representando siempre a nuestro país, pero aprovechamos de estar aquí en el lobby del hotel para conversar con Nico Carvacho. Vamos a conversar en inglés para poder sacarle el jugo a nuestro querido Nico. Nico, thank you for having us, for giving us your time.
Yes, sir.
How are you? How's Chile treating you these days?
Oh, man, I'm good, man. You know, just recovering from the season, and it's always great to come back here, be in Chile. I love Chile. Don't get to come back as often, you know, the season and everything, but it's always great being with the national team and representing Chile in any way that I can, and you know, just being back with my guys. You know, that's the most fun part for sure.
Would you like to come back? I'm not gonna say sooner, but more times in the year?
You know, it would be nice to be able to have more time. You know, the seasons are so long, 10 months, you know, so if you're done with the season, you just want to just go on vacation, do stuff, you know, go home. But I definitely would love to just come back here and, you know, immerse myself even more into the culture of Chile. And, you know, I think I've done a good job of that, you know, with the amount of times I've been here, you know. But yeah, definitely would like to come back more. It's
not easy though, because you have to have time in Colorado too. You have two homes in this world.
Yeah, you know, it's tough. You know, the family lives in the U.S. Have a lot of, like I said, like school friends that live there. You know, I grew up there, so you know, I got to go back visit them, and you know, always try to use playing, you know, for the national team to come back here. You know, it's a great honor for sure.
I wanna make that useful for this interview. I wanna, you know, hang with it. So, is it valuable that time in Colorado, in the US? I mean, I'm guessing you have time to disconnect from basketball after these 10 months of giving it all.
No, 100%. You know, you need it. 10 months, like I said, is hard every single day. You know, the mental, physical, everything about it. Being away from home. You know, it's always great to go home and see the family, you know, the mom, the dad, the sister, grandma, you know, we all live kind of together. So it's always nice to go in there and visit them and go back to Colorado and go back to Dallas and different places that I've lived, and just be with the friends and just be in familiar places, you know.
Being back in that court gives you memories too.
Yeah,
right?
you know, definitely Colorado, you know, coaching staff is still there. Just so many memories, like you said, on that court. You know, it's always great to go back there and step in there.
Is there any time in season that would you like to make a little escape to Colorado?
Definitely. You know, there's definitely periods where they let you do that, but those are the windows where we come here, you know? So you're always traveling and playing, but it definitely would be nice to go home during the season, but it also would be tough too to come back, you know, when you go home. But no, it's definitely something that I want to, you know, it would be nice to do.
Let's talk about this season, Nico. Not an easy one. You said it in socials.
Yeah.
Special one. I'm guessing you learn. You always learn sure. about everything you go through. What do you have to say about this season?
Yeah, you know, it was a tough season. You know, injury wise, missing a lot of the games and a lot of time. Coming back, playing, getting hurt, coming back, playing was not easy. but that's part of the game and part of, growing up and maturing and being able to figure out how to deal with it. And, I think I did a great job, finishing out the season the way that I did and fighting through the adversity of the mental and physical aspect of that for sure.
How would you describe it in one word? I would put on the table resilience, for example.
That's a good word right there for sure. I think resilience is the word. Yeah, for sure. I think, just being able to push through all those injuries and all those, hard times that I had sitting at home, not knowing if, when I was going to be able to play again and everything, and still wanting to do good and be part of the team and everything and win a championship, and definitely was resilient enough to figure it out and get the job done.
What was the thought? You sitting in your couch in a country that's not your own country, your birth country, nor Chile.
Yeah, right.
What was the thought in that moment?
I always say that I was a little lucky being in Lisbon. I had definitely been in different cities that, weren't as nice as Lisbon, but, it was definitely tough. Like I said, just being at home by myself, just all those thoughts that you have. I'm a competitor. I want to be out there. I want to be able to help my team and, not being able to physically be out there. And, it was definitely tough too, because come back, you get hurt again, come back, re-injure it, just different things. And yeah, it was definitely a lot of time to be in your head and to think about things. But yeah, like you said, resilient, and I pushed through it, and it made me better today and helped me out to, kind of see basketball and myself in a different view as well. It was my first time, I did the ACL, the knee, but I knew I was going to be out the whole season. This time it was tougher having to be out during the season and stay in game shape and stay in that mental thing and come back to practice and everything, and then get hurt again. And it was just a cycle of it, and it was definitely tough on the mind and physical, but we ended up getting the job done.
Did you think about quitting?
That's a good question. That's a deep question. Never quitting, but it definitely made you think about what's next and like different avenues you want to go. And I'm getting to that age too of what's next. And yeah, that was a good question. Never quit. Because I'll never quit. That's one thing.
Yeah, not like quitting basketball.
For sure. But yeah, just it was definitely tough. Just to go in there every single day and do the same rehab for the 4 months, it was the same thing just every single day. It was definitely tough, especially seeing the guys, go out there and play, and you want to be out there. But yeah, it definitely made you get a different sense of life.
And I think, or I would think, if I would be in your shoes, that it would make you think about your next step in your career, right?
Yeah, definitely did, and. But hey, we're here now, and I'm just trying to stay where my feet are at. That's what I always try to stay where my feet are at. I believe in God, and He's got a plan for me, and He's going to show it when it's time to show it. And that's what He's done throughout my whole life, and glory goes to God. So I just think that I just take it day by day. Whatever happens.
We have talked about like with Seba Herrera, with Seba Carrasco too. We talked about pain. In the sports, in professional sports, right. You have to deal with pain constantly, and you have to go through stuff in your personal life too. Yeah, like we talk about the big Chile, we talk about Nico Carvacho, the 32, in the court, but you have a personal life too. I'm guessing you had to deal with it too, like your injury because you wanted to play, because you're a professional player, but with your own life too.
Yeah, it's tough, like you said, like you want to go out there and play, and there's not always nice people out there. You go through the handshake lines, or you go through say something to crowds, and they're asking you how the vacation is, and it's like, I'm not on vacation, man. I'm working my my butt off every single day to get back on this court, and certain things like that. It's always tough, but. Yeah, man, it's just part of it. You wake up, and there was times where I didn't even want to go to the bathroom because I didn't want to walk. There was times where I couldn't walk. I get up in the morning, I couldn't walk, and it's just, like you said, the mental part of that is tough, but it's part of the game, and it's part of playing sports. You got to learn how to, fight through it and find different ways to come to peace with it, and, find different ways to do mobility and different ways to just stay as healthy and feel as good as you can, because as you get older and, you know, everything, it starts to definitely wear on you.
You're not that old, too.
Yeah.
You feeling old?
Yeah.
Was it for us?
Yeah.
What's it for us, man? Okay. Was it the toughest one? Year 5?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely the toughest season. You know, pro-wise, you know, college. There was definitely tough parts in college too. You know, you say pro 5 years, but I think college also adds to it. You know, especially with some of the coaches that I've had. You know, the practices that we've had, but. Yeah, man, it just wears on you. But hey, it's, like I said, it's part of it. Everybody goes through it, and it's all about how you can keep your mind to be able to fight through it.
Why though? Why keep fighting through this pain?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. It's all I've known. It's all I've done. Is, you know, I've been somebody that's played through a lot of injuries and just gave my all. You know, that's what I want to do. You want to give it all. You want to be out there on that court. You know, you're getting paid money to be out there, and you know, you got fans that want to see you play, and you know, it's not like I'm LeBron or anything, but you know, it's still that personal, you know, vendetta to myself of, you know, just want to be out there, you know, giving everything that I have, and you know, sometimes it's tough, but it's worth it at the end. You know, getting that championship and Finals MVP made the whole season worth it. You know, fighting through everything and being in my room. Just looking at the ceiling and everything, it was, you know, it made it worth it for sure.
Yeah, great moment overall.
Yeah.
Guys, saying salud, Seba. Joking.
Seba.
Well, tough one. Where do you think you got that fighting soul from your dad, from your mom, some coach?
Yeah, you know, I think it's something my parents for sure instilled in me, especially my dad. Grew up in Viña del Mar, had to sell jeans or sell tomatoes door by door to just buy his first pair of jeans, you know, just learning the history that he had to go through and everything, and just the resiliency that he had and where he's at now and everything just helps you just realize that, you know, I don't want to say you have it good or I have it easy, but, you know, there's definitely harder things to do in life than what I do. And, you know, like mom and dad used to make me go to practice and make me do all that, and it worked. You know, it paid out as a kid. I want to go hang out with the friends, and they're like, nope, get in the car, we're going to practice, and it paid off. You know what I'm saying? It paid off.
There's this story that's been going viral right now as of we are doing this interview, of you choosing between soccer and basketball. So I wanted to ask you, do you ever think about that decision? Do you ever go back to that decision?
Yeah, I think what makes it easy in that decision is that I'm this tall.
Yeah.
You know, like if I was shorter, then I'd be like, maybe I should have stuck with that. You know, I should have stuck with soccer. But, you know, I think being this tall made it easy to make that decision. But man, I love soccer. It's my favorite sport probably still. I watch everything. You know, Man United is my favorite team. I watch every game. I follow it. I love it. But yeah, you know, I think being this tall made that decision easy, so I don't have to think about, man, if I would stick with soccer, you know. But I think definitely being able to be this tall helped me out a lot.
Do you ever play soccer?
My dad used to coach like youth teams, and when I was in college, I used to go back and sometimes practice with them, but I haven't played in forever. A lot of FIFA though,
Okay.
You know, around the house or the basketball, I'll juggle it and I'll kick and I'll play with the guys. But definitely still have that love and passion for it.
You went to a couple of games on Benfica, right?
Yep, definitely had to go to some games at Benfica. It was amazing. Great stadium, great fans. It was fun for sure.
European soccer it's amazing.
Yeah, it's fun.
Tough times to be a Man United fan though.
Yeah, it's been tough, but hey, we're getting some good signings this summer, and I think we say this every year, but you know, I think next year will be better for sure.
You have hope.
At least for Champions League. We'll get at least Champions League again.
Oh, you think so?
To get back into the Champions League, because now we're playing no Europe, which is not what Man United does.
Where did you get this, Man United?
As a kid, like I said, I played striker as a kid. I know everybody thinks I played goalkeeper, but striker was my first position that I loved, and I fell in love with certain players, you know, like Rooney, Ruud van Nistelrooy was my favorite player, Cristiano Ronaldo, like those guys. I just grew up watching them, and I think they were good at the time too, so I ended up liking them. And you know, it's been rough the last couple years, but hey, you know, I think hopefully when I get older, they'll be good again.
Because I don't wanna fall into stereotypes, but in the US it's not that common to be a fan of soccer, right?
Yeah, it's definitely getting bigger. You
Yeah.
know, soccer or football has been getting bigger.
You'll have the World Cup next
Yeah,
year.
exactly. The World
for
Cup.
example.
You know, my dad coached in MLS there, so I seen soccer when I was a young kid in America, and seeing it now, I can see the growth and everything. And you know, we're getting better players to come up, and more fans are getting into it. So, you know, it's going to be hard to ever reach the European or South American level because this is all it is football. But you know, I think in the U.S., and there's so many sports in the U.S. too. It's tough, but you know, I think it's growing for sure.
So well, you don't play it, but would you like to play it with guys?
Oh yeah, I would love to go play some pickup soccer or something. Go around, kick the ball, score some goals for sure.
Would you score some goals?
Yes.
You have the talent.
Yeah.
I like the confidence.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, let's go back to basketball.
Yeah.
Being here with the national team, I guess every time is special, right?
Yeah.
Right now, a key moment to start this road to the World Cup. But first of all, I wanted to go back to February. You were injured, like we spoke. Was it tough for you?
Yeah.
Did it hurt?
Yeah, like on top of just everything, you know, being hurt, missing my own games, and not being able to come here, and us not being able to qualify for the America Cup, you know, is just another thing added on to, you know, the mental part of it. And definitely wasn't easy. You know, I don't want to be here, like I said, with my guys, and it definitely took some, you know, some nights of just thinking about it and being mad about it and wishing that I can be playing the Mira Cup this summer, you know, especially with Chile. And I'm not sure, I don't think we've ever been to one, because I think that's pretty new, but yeah, I don't think we've ever been to one. So I think, you know, it would have been a huge thing for Chile basketball. And, you know, our goal is to continue to grow basketball here in Chile and get it bigger and bigger. And yeah, it was definitely tough.
Did you speak with any of these guys, any of the guys in the national team?
Yeah, always. You know, I wasn't there, but I was, you know, before games saying good luck, and even when we didn't make it, you know, sending a text in the group message, hey, we'll get them next time, you know, something like that, and just wishing I was there, you know, definitely wishing I was there.
It's been a long fight, though.
Yeah, been a long fight, yeah.
Yeah, you've been, 7 years more? I mean, U16, it's more than 7 years.
Right.
I'm sorry.
The men's team.
Yeah. It's been a long fight to get these achievements, and you don't get them.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be tough.
For sure.
Of course, but does it ever wear down?
No, I think it's just another motivation. You know, it was definitely tough on us. I think this was a great opportunity this past time. I don't want to say that if I was there, we were doing it for sure, but if I was there, you know, I put that on me, which was tough. But yeah, I think, like you said, it's growing, and, you know, we have another opportunities to do it, and hopefully that one day we can do it, and it's just part of the motivation. But yeah, it's definitely tough not going.
What's your relationship with Coach Manu?
That's my guy. Like I said, he was our coach at U16.
Yeah.
He's the one that started believing in me and brought me here from the beginning. So yeah, we have a great relationship, and he trusts me with everything, and I trust him with everything, and there's never been an issue with anything. And, you know, like I said, that's my guy. And after basketball, we'll still talk and be friends and everything. So I think that's a huge part of it for sure.
Actually, we were speaking, not remembering, because I don't know if I was there or looking at it, but we was remembering that U16 team that traveled to Germany.
Yeah.
How was it for you? I'm guessing your Spanish was
way
not
worse.
there.
Yeah, way worse. I didn't know anything. At least I know something now. You know, I could at least have a conversation.
Do you remember it though?
Yeah, you know, I think especially in Uruguay was the first time when we met. That was definitely a culture shock for me. You know, I had never been outside the U.S. You know, other than when I came for Chile for soccer, but, you know, being with the team and being with them but they're great guys, you know, Seba, people, everybody, you know, that I'm playing with still there, and we're still friends, all of them, you know, I remember all of them, and man, it's crazy to see us now to when we were. So it's just amazing to see the progress everybody has made and how we stay together, and, you know, we haven't finished the job, but, you know, we're working towards that, and that's the biggest thing.
Do you still feel shocked about some things when you come to Chile or South America? Is there any shock? Or you used to?
I'm good now. I've been to 30 countries because of basketball, played in many of them, lived in different places in Europe, you know, South America. So I think I'm pretty culturally adaptable now to anything.
Yeah, you've grown in that matter.
Yeah, for sure. It's easy. I don't have no stress about traveling anymore. I can figure it out.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not gonna ask you specifically. We're coming to an end, but where's your next step in your professional career?
Yeah, you know, I'm still haven't signed a contract yet. Working some things out, talking with some teams, and, you know, I think whatever the next journey is going to be a big one, and, like I said, another important one in my career. And I'm excited for any opportunity that I get, and you know, I'm excited, you know, to go try to win the championship.
But what are you looking for personally?
Yeah, it's a good question. Personally, you know, I just want to play basketball. I just want to have a chance to win a championship, make as much money as I can, you know, why I can do it. That's also where I'm at, you know, especially with the body and how it feels. But yeah, I just want to play basketball, have fun playing basketball, and have a chance to win the championship.
And do you feel confident about your body?
Yeah, you know, for sure. I do everything I can. You know, I'm somebody that I eat healthy. I'm in the gym. I'm lifting weights. I'm stretching at night. I'm massage, ice bath, everything. You know, I take everything.
You can't do anything more.
That's the thing. You know, that's what the toughest part is too. I feel like I'm one of those guys that really tries my hardest to be the best professional I can, and some things, you know, I can't control, and that sometimes are those injuries, and that also makes it tough. But hey, you know, just got to keep on doing it and find different ways to get better in that aspect as well.
Nico, I give you the camera. If you want to say it in Spanish, just you're free to do what you want to do, to say or to give a message to your fans in Chile about this new process starting with this tournament and this week, and what's next with this selección nacional. You say it in the language you want.
I gotta try to think about some Spanish words. How do you say believe?
Creer.
Creer. Hola, soy Nico Carvacho. Gracias por todo y un creer en nosotros. Vamos, Chile.
Bien, excelente. Thank you, Nico.
Yeah,
Thank you, Nico, for having us, for giving us your time, precious time this weekend.
No, anytime.
We hope you had a good time with us.
Always.
Sorry about my English.
No, English is great.
I'm getting better.
No, it's great. It's actually really good. It's great.
Thank you, Nico, for having us.
Thank you so much.
Muchas gracias a ustedes también por estar con nosotros en esta edición de CDO Básquet.
CDO Básquetbol fue presentado por CDO Plus.
¿Qué es la perfección?
Depende de quién le preguntes. Para algunos es cuando las cosas fluyen sin necesidad de forzarlas. Para otros es cuando cae la última pieza de un rompecabezas en su lugar. Porque la perfección no siempre se ve perfecta. Quizás no necesita explicación, solo una receta. Receta del abuelo. La receta perfecta. Mi casino.
Micasino.com. Únete a CDO y disfruta de nuestro deporte. Míralo en vivo y en donde estés. Desde cualquier dispositivo. Ahorra 25% contratando el plan anual. Únete a CDO, el canal de los deportes en Chile. CDO. ¡Únete ahora!
Señoras y señores fanáticos del básquetbol, va a volar la pelotita.
Hay que ser fuerte, psicológicamente hay que ser muy fuerte, porque tienes una posibilidad de ser campeón. ¿Cuántos años la has estado esperando?